And all right, viewers, we have more breaking news coming in. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar met with the Canadian Foreign Minister Anita Anand in New York, marking a significant step in rebuilding ties between India and Canada. The meeting, which Dr. Jaishankar described as positive, focused on strengthening diplomatic relations between the two countries. Dr. Jaishankar welcomed the recent appointment of High Commissioners, calling it a welcome step in rebuilding ties. Meanwhile, it was just yesterday when Lawrence Bishnoi and his gang linked to murder, extortion and arms and drugs traffic in India and abroad had been declared a terrorist entity by Canada under its criminal code. All right, let's get all the updates. Soumya, our colleague, is now joining us for more details. Soumya, a very, very significant meeting between S. Jaishankar and Canadian Foreign Minister. Give us more updates on the outcomes of this key meeting.
Yes, well, see, this meeting came on the sidelines of the UNGA. As we know that the Canadian Foreign Minister is also set for an India visit very soon. The same was reiterated by the Foreign Minister as well, that he's looking forward to welcoming the Foreign Minister in India very soon. So now this is a huge positive development in India-Canada ties, which had significantly nosedived since 2023, when the former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau had alleged that India had links to the killings of the Khalistani separatists. And last year, when what we saw in October panning out, wherein India called back its High Commissioner and also few of the diplomats, and also at the same time expelled certain Canadian diplomats from here. So these are the developments that we saw after Prime Minister Modi met the Prime Minister of Canada during the G7 summit, which held earlier this year in June. So these are the developments that we're picking up as to how significantly the relationships have improved between India and Canada, how efforts are being taken to improve the relationships of India and Canada. First, and the starting step to that was appointment of the High Commissioners to the capitals of both the countries. And now yesterday we also saw how Lawrence Bishnoi, one of the most wanted criminals gang, was designated yesterday as a terrorist group by the...
Stay with us. We'll just come back to you. Ambassador Deepak Vora, former diplomat, is joining us for more on that. Thank you so much, Ambassador Vora, for joining us. It's always a pleasure speaking to you, sir.
It's my pleasure to be with you early in the morning. Thank you very much for asking. You are brilliant. Thank you, Vita. Thank you very much.
Sir, Ambassador Vora, I would like to know from you, of course, there's this key meeting that Dr. Jaishankar had with his foreign minister of Canada today. But speaking about overall reset in the ties that we are witnessing between India and Canada, how do you look at the entire case now, considering the fact that this has come really a long way before the former dispensation under Justin Trudeau, how the relations between the two countries had nosedived? What more measures do you think will help in mending the ties further?
Well, thank you very much. Delighted to be with you, and I've just heard what you had to say. First of all, one thing that we would be clear about, that the Foreign Minister of Canada is a woman of Indian origin, and sometimes what I have seen 52 years in diplomacy, that people of Indian origin, when they occupy positions of authority in other countries, they pretend to be more loyal to the country of adoption than to the home country. They want to show that their total commitment is to the home country. We've seen this time and again in that disunited kingdom. We've seen this elsewhere. Now, who sought this meeting? This meeting was held in New York on the sidelines of the UNGA summit. It was the Canadians who asked for it. But they now understand that this is not docile India. This is Bharat Bahadur. The whole world seeks India's partnership. They've understood this. And that dustbin fellow, what was his name? Dustbin Trudeau. He had caused enormous damage. He had embarrassed not just his own country, which he has deeply divided. It has a dwindling economy. There's severe social tensions in that country between the local the originals and the immigrants and so on and so forth. There's a lot going on. It's a country that was seen as welcoming terrorism. It has a terrible reputation internationally. So this lady wants to see if by mending ties with India, which is the leader of what is called the Global South, Canada can seek to improve its image. This is the basic thing. But as far as we are concerned, ma'am, we move very slowly. We don't get terribly excited about such things. We would move very slowly. We'll see, because we believe that actions matter much more than words. We want to see if they address some of our concerns as far as extremist radicalism, as Sikh terrorism, as we refer to it, Islamic terrorism, as we call it, if that is addressed. But if they turned around and say, no, that's not a problem, we believe in free speech, like that clown Dustbin Trudeau came when the Sikh farmers were demonstrating in India, saying that we stand by the right of people to raise their voice. And then when there were demonstrations in his own country, he called in the army. So these kind of double standards, we hope that they will not follow. They've abandoned them, and they understand that you don't mess with India. I don't think I'm seeing your headline, it's a new dawn. I don't think so, ma'am. We're in a twilight zone. The night may be ending, but the dawn still has to come. So let's wait for a while to see whether there's any change in the behavior of the Canadian government. As far as we are concerned, we didn't cause the rupture. The rupture was caused by that one man called Dustbin Trudeau. That is something that I think you should be aware of. And I'm sorry that I threw cold water on the excitement, but I've been long enough in diplomacy to understand that you have to just, Hindi mein kehte hain, phuk phuk ke kadam rakhna padta hai.
Ambassador Vora, also would like to understand from you, because domestic political pressures played a significant role as far as what Justin Trudeau did. Many of his actions were, of course, driven by domestic political pressures. How do you think the new dispensation is going to address the same concerns, the same issues, because domestically things haven't changed for Canada, right?
You are so right. You're brilliant. You've hit it, the nail on the head. Trudeau was survived because of the support by a Khalistani party. Some fellow, I forget his name, Jagmag Singh or Pagmag Singh or something. I've forgotten his name. I'm getting old. And then some Mr. Nijar was murdered, and Dustbin Trudeau said, "Mo, my sweetheart, my darling, the world's greatest plumber has been murdered." All kinds of things. He made allegations. He even dragged in the so-called Five Eyes, the Anglo sphere, the English-speaking 5 countries that share intelligence, and they got very upset, saying, "What rubbish are you talking about?" The man had lost his marbles. So my own feeling is, ma'am, you're so right. Domestic political pressures in Canada remain. How the government deals with them is what we will be watching very carefully. Now, designating Bijnoi, what do they say? A terrorist under their domestic law. What took them so long to do this? We've been asking for this for years, but that time was the government of that buffoon, and they wouldn't listen. Now that they realize that the terror supporting tag, there are many countries that are designated as terror supporters, and Canada risked being one of them. So now they're trying to show that, no, we don't like terror, we are very nice people, etc. They are losing out, ma'am. Indian students are not going there in the numbers that they want. Finally, what do I gain from normalizing relations from Canada? They have no money, they have no technology that I want. In fact, Indian investment in Canada is probably more than Canadian investment in India. Their pension funds and their university funds invest in India, not because they love me, but because they get good returns, ma'am. This is the harsh reality of our world.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ambassador Vora, for joining us and sharing your insights on that big story. Thank you so much.
Thank you.